In this video, we're going to take a look at Safety Check on the iPhone. What is Safety Check? Well, with Safety Check, you can easily review and manage which people, apps, and devices have access to your data, such as your calendar, your contacts, your reminders, or your photos. In this video, I'll show you how to use this powerful tool to help protect your personal safety and your privacy. Now, if you find this video helpful, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, let's take a look at Safety Check on the iPhone. Let's go over to my iPhone. Now, the first thing I want to mention is what I recommend people do is go through this at least once or twice a year. And I think you'll see why when we run through it. I'm actually going to run through it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to our Settings app. This is located in Security and Privacy Settings. So I tap on Settings, and then we swipe up, and then you're going to see Security and Privacy. I tap on that, and now when I swipe up here, what you're going to see here is Safety Check. This is where we want to go. Now we basically have two options, and it depends on what situation you're in. The first option here is an emergency reset. So this is for a specific situation. If you're in a situation where you need to remove people from accessing your data or apps accessing your data, this is where you would use that. This is an emergency situation. I tap on emergency reset and I start the emergency reset. And then just follow the steps to go and do that. I'm not going to go and do an emergency reset here, but basically you just follow the steps. It's pretty easy to follow along. Now, when you're in one of these emergency situations and someone walks up behind you, you don't want them to see what you're doing. You can always tap on Quick Exit in the upper right-hand corner. That will always show. You'll actually see it when we run through the other option where we just manually go through the Safety Check. This always shows, and when you tap on it, what it'll do is it'll just immediately take you over to the home screen. So if someone's walking up behind you, you don't want them to see what you're doing, you can tap on that Quick Exit. They won't know what you're doing. All right, let's go back over to my Settings app. And then we go to our Security and Privacy here. And then we swipe up until we find Safety Check. All right, so that's the first option, emergency reset. Use that in specific situations. Hopefully, you will never have to use that. But the one that I do recommend people look at on a regular basis, maybe 1 or 2 times a year, is Manage Sharing and Access. With this, what we're going to be able to do is see who we're sharing our information with. Now, there's basically 3 steps. I would call it more like 5 or 6 steps. It doesn't take that long. It's going to take a little bit longer because I'm going to explain what is going on as we go through this. But I bet you could do this in maybe just a few minutes, as you'll see. So let's just go ahead and tap on this and start reviewing my data, who I'm sharing my data with. Tap on it. Now, this is the first step. This is step 1. It doesn't say it here, but you'll see what I mean shortly. Step 1. What we're going to do is we're going to manage who we're sharing our data with for specific people and apps. So in other words, I'm sharing photos with people. Who am I sharing those photos with? I'm sharing notes with people. Who am I sharing those notes with? That's basically what we're going to look at here. So now what I do is I just tap on Continue, and you're going to see people up here. And when I'm looking at people, I can see who I am sharing my data with. I can also see what I'm sharing with them. So when we go to Abigail here, we can see that I'm sharing my photos and my notes with her. When we go to Beth, we can see that I'm just sharing my photos with her. Now, at any time, if I wanted to remove that access, let's go with Abigail here. I just tap on the blue check mark, and we go to Review Sharing. And then from here, I can see what I'm sharing with her. Again, photos and shared notes. And if I want to remove access, I just tap on them, and then I would say Stop Sharing. And this will stop sharing the photos. She'll still have access to my notes. If I just wanted to select all, I could do that as well, and then Abigail will not have access to my photos or notes anymore. I'm not going to be sharing anything with Abigail after this. So we can look at it by people here, or what we can do is we can look at it through the information portal. In other words, when I tap on this, I can see photos, and I can see who I'm sharing my photos with. So it kind of flips it around. So when I tap on photos, what do you think we're going to see? We're going to see Abigail here. We already know that I'm sharing my photos with her. And then from here, I can tap on her name and stop sharing. Or if I wanted to stop sharing with everyone, I select all and stop sharing. And then no one will have access to my photos. So I can easily see who I'm sharing my photos with by going to the Information tab. So that's basically how we can see who we're sharing our information with and then manage that access. That's step one. Now I'm going to deselect everything here and we're just going to go to skip. I'm not going to make any changes. So I just tap on skip because I didn't make any changes. The next thing here is, what am I sharing publicly? Well, I have a public album out of the Photos app. So then people can see that just by clicking on a link. If I wanted to remove that, I just tap on the blue check mark, and then we go to stop sharing. I'm going to deselect that, and again, we're just going to skip this. So step one is complete. Remember how I said this is a few different steps? That's step one. Now let's take a look at step two. I tap on continue, and now we're looking at app access. So the step one, we were looking at who had access to our data. Step two, we're looking at what apps have access to our data. So in this case here, we can see that Bing has access to my location and my camera, while VisiCal has access to my location and my contacts. And then Halid has access to my location, camera, and one more. Well, what is that one more? Well, all we need to do is just tap on the little I here, and we can get a little more detailed report. So Halid has access to my location, camera, and photos. If I wanted to remove access to any one of those, I just tap on the little circle there, and then I stop access. If I wanted to remove access altogether, I can do that as well. And then if I wanted to delete the app, I can do that as well. I'm going to go back. So that's when we're looking at it from an app standpoint. Again, we can reverse this. If we go over here to information, now what I'm going to be looking at is my location. And we can see that Bing, Halid, and 4 more have access to my location. What are the 4 more? I tap on the I, and I can see all of the different apps that have access to my location. And if I wanted to remove access, I just tap on them and stop access. Or what I can do is I can select all and stop access. So again, just like with people, what we're able to do here is look at it from an app standpoint, look at a specific app and see what access they have, or I can look at it from an information standpoint. I can see my location, my Bluetooth, and then see what apps have access to that. So you can look at it either way. We're going to skip this. And now we're done with step 2. So as you can see, you could roll through this pretty quick. So I'm going to tap on continue. And then our next one here is devices. So now I'm able to review which devices have access to my Apple account. So I tap on continue. Maybe you have an old Mac out there and you no longer want to have it have access to your Apple account. Maybe you got rid of it. Well, this is where you can see which devices have access to your Apple account. So now what I'm able to do is see all the different devices, and if I wanted to remove one, I just tap on the circle and I can remove that selected device. And that device will no longer have access to my Apple account, or formerly known as Apple ID. I'm going to skip this. We're not going to make any changes. And now I'm able to review my phone numbers and verify my identity. So if you got a new phone number or you want to make sure that you have the right phone number in here, this is where you can see that. You can also add another phone number in there. I'm going to continue. We can also update our Apple account password. This is formerly known as the Apple ID. Apple changes in 2025. So if you want to change your Apple account password, you can easily do that. I'm going to update it later in settings. We're not going to make any changes. I can set who my emergency contacts are. We can see that Beth is in here. And if I wanted to add another person in there, I could do that as well. I'm just going to tap on Continue. And then we can see which computers are synced to this device. And you can easily remove access from those computers. I just tap on that, and then I can stop syncing. I'm going to deselect that, and we're just going to skip it. And then this iPhone can be accessed by other devices. I have a MacBook Pro. If I wanted to remove that access, I can do that as well. I'm going to skip it. I can update my device passcode. Again, I'm just going to update this later in settings. I'm not going to make any changes to it. iCloud Private Relay, I do have that turned off. If I wanted to turn it on, I could do that to protect my privacy. We're just going to skip it. And now my safety check is complete. I just tap on Done, and it saves any changes. And at any time, again, don't forget, you are able to do a quick exit. So let's just run through this real quick so you can see how easy it is. I was explaining everything, right? So now I just go to Continue. I look to see, yeah, all those people are good, so I skip it. Yep, I want to keep that, skip it. Step 1 is complete. App access. Yeah, all that looks good. I skip it. Step 2 is complete. I go through my devices. All those devices, I would scroll up. All those devices look good. You probably don't have as many devices as what I do. And then I can review my phone number, update my password, add an emergency contact, see my synced computers, see which computers have access to my device, update my passcode, and skip the private relay. And now I am all done. So you could really do this in a matter of minutes. And it's a nice way of just reviewing who you are sharing your information with. So you don't have to go into the privacy and security settings and then go through that manually. You can just do the safety check to do that. So that's how we use Safety Check on the iPhone to manage who we are sharing our information with. Again, I recommend you do this maybe once or twice a year. It's located in Security and Privacy under your Settings app. So that's Safety Check on the iPhone. Now, if you found this video helpful, what you may want to do is like the video. You can share it with your friends and family. You can subscribe to my channel. In addition to that, what you may want to do is check out danstutorials.com. Not only do I have more videos there, but I also have an AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius, and I host classes and webinars on a regular basis. So how can you help support my efforts? Well, it is a membership-based site. When you become a member, what I'll do for you is remove all of the ads from the videos. You have access to that AI assistant modeled after an Apple Genius, and you have access to my classes and webinars. Also, you are helping support a small business. It is just me in a corner office of my house. I'm not part of some large organization. So when you become a member, you are directly supporting my efforts in creating these videos. Check out Dan's Tutorials for more information, and thanks for watching.